There we go. I think we are back. That was smooth. Smooth as you like. Unfortunately, I can't afford any transitions because I'm poor and, yeah, don't have the budget. Anyway, let's get back into this. Oh, you can see my new career mode save that I've started. Spoiler alerts! Spoiler alerts! Oh dear. Anyway, we're back in the lobby. We are a little bit late. Oopsie doopsie. But thankfully the race hasn't started. Did the stream stop? I think it did stop. But yeah, we are back up and running. I've still got the chat up on my stream. So welcome everyone back to the race here at Monza. Slightly abrupted by a lobby glitch. But it did have to happen at some point. You're never going to get through a whole season without a lobby glitch. But we are going to get this one started in just under 25 seconds. And I'm assuming it was a dry race. I haven't heard anyone say what the weather's going to be like. It's still on dynamic actually. So that could be muy interesante. And yes, Robert Godfather, we are back. I believe we're back. I hope we're back. If we're not back, then I'm talking to myself. Yeah, if the stream's not working for anyone, just refresh the page, and then we should be back online. Yeah, we should be back. We should all be back and running. Anyone wants to get a bag of popcorn or a mug of hot chocolate, feel free to do so, because we're about to get this race underway. Race starts ETA about 5 minutes until lights out. Maybe Sexify, who knows. It is Monza. Monza is one of those tracks where it's either going to be dry, as you can see in the image on the left hand side, or it's going to be pouring down with rain. It's one of those tracks where it's either either or. Kind of like, well, I want to say 2016 Monza, or 2017 Monza qualifying where it was pouring down with rain. I'm leaning more towards 2016, but I could be very wrong. Here we go, 23 seconds, my race number in fact, as Fernando Alonso stole my number 14, but Alex Albon's coming back to take away my number 23, mainly because it rhymes with ex-Natty G. Ha ha. But oh dear. Are we waiting on anyone else? Mr. Morning and Sumi haven't picked their cars, but they should be automatically chosen into them their selected multiplayer liveries. Oopsie. Sexify's off to get his popcorn. He's ready for the race. So are 15 out of the 16 drivers, just waiting for Nico Zora to press the tick and get this one underway. But we're going to have to wait the 10 seconds. Unless he's going to press it in the final second. 3, 2, 1. No. But I hope he is ready. I hope he's back. We don't have a stationary car on the grid. Hopefully the custom grid has been set, and if all the drivers could start the race on the tyre that they qualified on, that would be wonderful. Otherwise, I believe it's an LLP penalty of some sort coming their way. All the drivers that are outside the top 10 do have a free choice of tyre. And ladies and gentlemen, get your clouds out, because it's cloudy and overcast here at Monza. The Temple of Speed. The drivers are just loading in, selecting their strategies. And we are back. Yes, we are, Gav. We are back, and we are ready to get this one underway. The spectators are going crazy on the grandstands. One of them's actually floating. That guy in the blue shirt, he looks like his shoes are about 5 inches thick. I don't know if you can see that as well on the top right, but on my screen it does look like he's standing on something. I'm hoping the waiting for players is just someone loading in. Oh dear. 30 seconds, maybe? Second chance, almost? Go on, Codemasters. I believe. Come on. We've got this. We can do this. Put your back into it. Come on. Come on, Cody's. To me, to you, to me. Come on. 5 seconds. We're all praying. The chat's gone silent for the final 5 seconds. Is the race going to get underway? Are we going to see the grid? No. Oh, yay! Let's go. See, I believed in Codemasters. And the formation lap is underway. Pinty leads the grid off. The marshals wave their green, what looks like paper towels. And someone either span or disappeared off the line. I thought I saw something. But yes, Tom said, oh, someone's up at the back. That is Witzel, who's dropped it off the start. Let's get the tyres and stuff up on the screen for you lovely ladies and gentlemen to see. Everyone inside the top 11 starting on the soft compound tyre, the red stripe tyre, the fastest tyre available for this race weekend. The drivers outside, however, from 12th to 16th, all opting for the harder medium compound tyre, the yellow striped Pirelli tyre. But I think it's time for our weekly track facts here for this race at Monza. We've got 27 laps here of the Temple of Speed, and the total lap length is 3.6 miles long. Pole position starts on the left-hand side of the track, which leaves the inside open for quick getaway drivers from the second place on the grid. Maximum speeds can reach up to 350 kilometers per hour, 217.5 miles per hour, and it's a fairly long run down towards turn 1, 638 meters, with the car's full throttle for 84% of the lap. The longest flat-out section includes the final corner in the run down towards turn 1. It's 1,520 meters, the downforce level being low. Obviously, the tempo of speed, low to little downforce, retired. I was reading the disqualified bit at the bottom of the screen and it said retired. Required is the word I was trying to say. Approximately 36 gear shifts across the course of a lap, and an average pit stop time is 19 seconds, which should make strategy interesting. I hope you guys enjoyed the list of facts, which I will be trying to provide every race weekend. Some might be slightly more difficult than others, depends on what's on offer, and if I have to get my own stats, then I'll do so myself. I will time how long it takes. I will calculate how much I'm on the throttle and how many times I've spun at turn 5 or whatnot. But Pinty pulls up onto pole position. Dutchy and Witzel take their grid positions towards the back of the grid. Hopefully we get a better camera angle than this one, looking down on the cars ahead. But here we go. We are building to the 5 red lights. We cannot actually see the lights, but I can hear them coming on. The revs are building here in Monza, and it's lights out, and away we go. Liam's off to a good start. It's a good start from Cyrex. Liam's already jumped Pinty in the run down towards turn 1. Can the midfield negotiate the first heavy braking zone on this track? Who's going to be latest on the brakes? And that is someone spun round. That's Pinty spun round. And I think Tubokrans hit him. Similar scenes from what happened last week at Hungary. I think someone else is off at the back. I think everyone knows made it through. However, Pinty's gone from first to last on the opening lap. Liam's got himself a second lead. Soon Risky now going wheel to wheel in the run down towards the second chicane by Jasper and Hilstadini now going wheel to wheel just ahead. And Whiskey trying to find his way through. Cyrus trying to go round the outside. Mr. Morning's dropped it out the back. We've got yellow flags as Tubokran's gone wide at the exit of the first. Lesmo, he's lost 3 positions, now down to 5th place and has a lot of dirt on his tyre. Gets pushed off by Lucas, who gets his way up into 6th place. The leaders by Jasper and Hutadinho now going wheel to wheel, but by Jasper just gets ahead. Tootie Boy now going side by side with Duncan to run down towards Ascari, but the orange Gulf-themed car gets ahead for now. Pinty on Dutchy gets to move down. It's now on a recovery drive after an incident at turn 1. Dutchy going a little deep into the first half of the Ascari by Jasper and Hutadinho going wheel to wheel in the run down towards Parabolica. Sumi now having to defend from Tubokran, who's dropped down to 7th place. By Jasper's already got himself a penalty of some sorts. Leading the away though, 2.2 seconds, a dream start for him. Here goes Tubokran, now who's up alongside, has used already almost 50% of his DRS on the first lap, now going down the start finish straight. Lucas going wheel to wheel, it's too wide with Lucas and Hilstadinho behind. You've got Tubokran and Sumi battling. Tubokran gets ahead and Jai Jasper gets ahead and maintains ahead of Lucas for now, goes up into 4th place in this race. And Cyrax and Witzel into the pits. I'm assuming they had wing damage from the opening lap. Here goes Lucas, he's not close enough to send one on by Jasper into the second chicane. What about Tootie Boy and Duncan? He's not close enough either, but a chaotic and carnage start, I think, is the best way to put it. No safety car though. We are now put to green flag racing. I say green flag racing as the yellow flags have been waved because that's Whiskey who's dropped it at the first. Lesmo, I think he's kept his front wing intact. We'll just have to wait and see though if he comes into the pits. Here goes Pinty now gaining onto Tootie Boy going into Ascari. He uses the ERS to pull up alongside but isn't going to send one. But smart thinking from Pinty there as Witzel's dropped it at turn 1 coming out of the pits. The yellow flags have been deployed but have quickly been shown the green and back to green flag racing in the first sector. The debris has been cleared and the car is going in a straight line once again. Jasper is under significant amount of pressure from Lucas behind, who's gaining all the time. Mr. Morning picks up a 3-second time penalty. Pinty goes for a move on Tootie Boy down the straight and already gets ahead. But for how much longer? Because here goes Tootie Boy, actually he's going to tuck back into the slipstream, pull up alongside. Pinty defends the inside line going in towards turn 1. He's later on the brakes and maintains 9th position. Sumi and Duncan going wheel to wheel ahead. Duncan with the drive on the exit maintains and gets ahead of Sumi, goes up into 7th position. By Jasper trying to go for a move on Hilstadinho. This is for the podium position here on lap 3 down at the second chicane. But he isn't close enough to go for any moves there. Mr. Morning's into the pits and he's posting on a new front wing. Not sure where he got the damage from, and that's by Jasper off, and that's a big incident on the exit of the first. Lesmo, he's got wing damage and that is a reset to track, and I believe that is a disqualification from the race. I'm not too sure on the penalties. Gavra will have to confirm that. He might not do it in the chat, but he'll do it definitely in the stewards room, I'd imagine. Here goes Dutchy though, trying to go for a move that might be Hilstadinho off. Is it Hilstadinho off? He is off in the barrier on the exit of Ascari. Has he kept it out of the wall? I think he has. His wing appears to be intact. Doesn't look like you've got to get a safety car. The car is still going in a straight line. No debris on the racetrack, and we're back to green flag racing. And I think by Jasper might be into the pits. Understeered off at the final corner, Pinty and Sumi now going wheel to wheel down the start finish straight. Pinty gets ahead. He was down in 14th place at the end of lap 1. He's now up into 6th. Sumi's going to fight this one back though, but Pinty is so much later, so much more confident under braking, and gets 6th place. He's actually fighting Duncan now for 5th, who goes too deep on the exit of the first chicane, and a beautiful opportunistic move from Pinty, and he's only 3 seconds behind the driver who I believe made contact with him on the opening lap. Yellow flags, that is for, I think that's Mr. Morning off at Ascari. Yes it is, he's facing the wrong way. He doesn't know which way he's facing. They're doing donuts in the middle of the track, but it's not going to be a safety car. He's no damage and he's out of the barrier. Sumi now gets ahead of Duncan, who's dropped 2 positions in 5 corners and is now down to 7th place. Here goes Tootie Boy looking for a move on Lucas in towards Ascari, who defends the inside line by Jasper's off, I believe, at turn 1. Yellow flag's been deployed. Might have been contact between him and Cyrax, and it is Lucas who maintains 3rd place for now. What about Hilstadinho on by Jasper going into the second chicane? Backs out of that one on a fresh set of the medium compound of tyres. That gap has closed down a lot from Pinty to Tootie Boy, to Bockelman, sorry, to Tootie Boy currently running in 8th place. Lucas weaving down the start, finish straight to break the slipstream. But how effective is it going to be? Tubokran is late on the brakes, has the inside line going in towards turn 1. There's a little bit of contact between the two, and a very similar style of racing to how Max and Lewis went approached turn 1 in the feature race, and that is almost close to both drivers losing it through Curva Grande. They're still going wheel to wheel. Tootie Boy on the inside gets the move done, and almost an airborne crash going over the curbs, and almost an airborne crash. There is an airborne crash, almost, effectively, as Tootie Boy is sent spinning on the exit of the chicane. Needs to be careful when rejoining the track, and without that ghosting system, that could have been catastrophe. Lucas now, though, in 3rd place, has Pinty right behind him, and that demotes Tubokran now down into 9th. DRS enabled for the green car of Pinty, who finds the room on the outside, the right-hand side of the track. Can he get ahead before Ascari? Yes, he does. And what a drive from Pinty. 5 laps in from the back of the grid to 3rd place. And he's on a charge. He is not holding anything back, but he has 7.1 seconds to your race leader, Liam, who has only a 6/10 advantage to only one Luca Rosman running in 2nd place. Some might say what comes around goes around, and now it's Tubokran's job to fight his way through the field and gain back the time on Pinty, currently running in 3rd place. Duncan and Sumi now going wheel to wheel. Duncan has used up all 100% of his overtake button in the first 6 laps. And is that Pinty off at turn 1? It is! Pinty's off at turn 1. He's round. He's now got 3 cars in front of him. Tootie Boy, Sumi and Duncan all go through. And while the stewards may be interested, may be busy after this race, some of these are just personal mistakes, or individual mistakes, and there's been a few bits of contact throughout the race, but we'll have to wait and see how this one unfolds. We're only on lap 6. We've still got another 22 laps to go. Sumi is putting Duncan under significant pressure, so much pressure that he's gone off the track and off the screen, and is facing backwards, and thank you for the ghosting system, because that would have been quite the big accident. And Duncan just trying to find 1st gear as he gets his way back onto the circuit. Tootie Boy looking for a move down the inside of Sumi in towards turn Ascari, sorry, not turn 1, but couldn't quite find the door. Here goes Pinty, though, with the overtake button. He's only got 25% left. Is now on a 2nd recovery drive after dropping it at turn 1. Mr. Morning has retired from this the race in the pit lane. Minor retirement from him 6 laps into this race, but won't be needed for a safety car. This could be 3 wide going into turn 1. Soon is going to be a sitting duck to the 2 cars behind, who are going to have the DRS. Pinty balls over to the inside, but they're 3 wide. The last time drivers went 3 wide, it ended in a monumental accident in the run down towards turn 1 at Portimao. Pinty, though, is able to get ahead. Sumi losing 2 positions in 2 corners, now drops down to 6th place. Tootie Boy on the medium compound tyres. He's in a really good position here. He's almost practically pushing Pinty through Curva Grande. He's putting up alongside. He's now going ahead in towards the 2nd chicane and is up into 4th place. What a fight these guys are having. But the gap to Lucas and only one Luca Rosman is only getting bigger as these guys continue to battle away. Meanwhile, the top 2 are separated by just about 3/10. 2/10 now as they make their way to the through the Ascari chicane. And look who's caught back up to this battle. To Boccarin, last week's race winner, hasn't had enough of the action yet. His Pinty almost looked for a move down the inside of Ascari. Would have been brave. Tootie Boy's gone deep, and Pinty's got the run down towards Parabolica, who's got the lower wing angles. And it looks like Tootie Boy might be using up a little bit more ERS. Here goes Sumi now looking for a move on Pinty, who's going to try and work something round the outside of Tootie Boy, taking the wider line. Meanwhile, Liam and only one Luca Rosman going wheel to wheel towards turn 1, battling for the race lead. Liam goes defensive, but it's not enough to disencourage only one Luca Rosman to try something around the outside. Looking back at the battle for 4th place, Pinty's staying ahead. That's late from to Boccarin, and then there's no contact. Sumi leaves the door wide open, but slams it shut on exit. Maintains 6th position for now, and what a race. And only 8 laps. We've had so many battles, so many position changes so early on. Sumi has no ERS left to play with, and Only one Luca Rosman in a really good position. He's still got 92% and has the DRS in the run down towards Ascari. Is he going to go for a move on Liam? He's not quite going to go for a move. He's going to tuck him behind for now. I think there was a position change. I think Sumi got ahead of Sumi somewhere in the Lesmos. Liam, though, is not going to defend the inside line, going through into the final corner. He's going to stay ahead. I think only one Luca Rosman is strategically playing this one out. Going to get the DRS in the run down towards turn 1. Here we go then. You'll see the rear flap open any second now. There it goes. The extra straight line speed enabled. Tootie Boy battling away with Tubokran, but I'm just going to watch his battle for the lead. Here goes only one Luca Rosman to the outside of turn 1. A beautiful move. Finds his way up into the lead of the race. Looking back down to the battle for 5th place. And here goes Sumi on the left-hand side of the track, the outside of the turn 1. He's already got ahead of Tootie Boy in towards turn 1. Who's going to be later on the brakes though? And his contact, Tubokran's hit the back of Tootie Boy. He's going to try the switchback move in towards turn 2. Try and get a good run on his rivals on the exit of the corner. Riding on board now with Tubokran, who's got good slipstream, good straight line speed, good exit. He's using this overtake button. He's going to pull up alongside Hamilton Vettel style in towards the chicane, but gets ahead before the corner. Maybe a bit too late on the brakes. Right to the curb. That's not helped his exit, because here goes Tootie Boy fighting back in the first Lesma, who I thought there was contact between the two. I thought Tubokran was about to swipe the front wing off of the Golf-themed multiplayer F1 car, but thankfully for us, no contact made, and the racing resumes. But it's lost a lot of time already. The gap now almost over a second. In fact, it's just gone over 1 second. Tubokran is now on a charge, but has lost the rear slightly on exit. That's cost him about 3/10. And Gavra was not the only one who thought they'd made contact going into the first Lesmo. Meanwhile, the front two, Liam might have made a mistake there. He's lost 3/10 going into turn 1. Meanwhile, 5th to 7th separated by about a second. As Tubokran is closer to Sumi, then Tootie Boy is to the back of Tubokran. So he is in a good position to overtake here without having to worry about defending too much. But he needs to keep his wits about him, otherwise he could have an orange car closely up his rear diffuser. If he doesn't look in his mirrors. Tootie Boy is actually disconnected from the lobby, and that disintegrates the battle for 5th place, and now it's a 2-horse race for 5th so far. Hopefully Tootie Boy can join back as quickly as possible, just as it looked promising. It's kind of all been thrown away, but Tubokran's got a good run in the run down towards the Ascari chicane with the DRS, pulls over to the right hand side of the track. Can he get the move done round the outside into Ascari? Sumi lets him go through and gets the move done up into 5th place. Doesn't fight it too much, and we'll wait for the DRS down in towards turn 1. The front two still separated by 0.4 of a second as we start lap 11 of 27, almost getting closer to the pit stop window. Here goes Liam to the inside, but decides to tuck back in behind only one Luca Rosman, going in towards turn 1. Sumi is actually into the pits from the soft tyres and is triggering an early undercut. The trigger has been pulled, and it's into the pits for a set of the white striped hard compound tyres, which should see him go to the end of the race, and for his strategy, out ahead of Tubokran. The front two in this race running 9th and 7th place in the championship respectively. Lucas on his debut running in a podium position. Neither of the top 3 have won a race so far this season. Liam and only Rosman only picking up 1 podium so far, both finishing 3rd in the first and 3rd race. Liam getting 3rd in Hungary, only one Luca Rosman finishing on the podium in Portugal. I believe it was Portugal. I think he finished on the podium. Could have been Bahrain, but I'm pretty sure he finished on the podium in Portugal, because this is Liam now coming into the pit lane. That's what I was going to say earlier, but decided to say it when talking about the podium. Undercuts being triggered here. Liam, Lucas, Pinty all into the pits. Tubockerin stays out. Tutti Boy in the mediums, you'd imagine he'd be staying out as well. Dutchy does though come into the pits, so only a few drivers staying out. Now, in my opinion, the overcut works if you have the slipstream and the DRS. Otherwise, I'd have thought a softer medium would be the best strategy, and it is medium tyres going on to Lucas, Pinty, and Dutchy actually opting for the hard tyres. Sumi also going on to the hards. Where does Sumi come out though? He's come out ahead of Tubockerin, so he hasn't hit. Wrong yellow car, yellow flags, and it's Liam. I think that's Liam off at turn 4. It might have been. He's lost time. It could have been. I'm not too sure. It might have actually just been blue flag traffic as Whiskey's trying to get out of the way of turn 1. Duncan's picked up a 3-second time penalty. Battle for 14th place on the track between Whiskey and Witzel. Both drivers just running out a few positions out of the points. Here goes Nico Zora though, and Lucas battling away, going in towards Ascari. Whiskey and Witzel going wheel to wheel into the second chicane, and Whiskey just getting ahead for now. A little twitch on the rear on exit, but maintains 14th position. Only one Luca Rosman's in and out of the pits for the medium compound tyres. Tubockerin is also in. Tutti Boy stays out, starting on the mediums. Where is Liam going to come out though? Going down the start-finish straight. Look out for an orange car on the right-hand side. There it is. Is he going to be ahead? Liam's going to have the momentum going in towards turn 1. And those yellow flags, if it was for Liam, might have been the difference between getting the undercut on the race leader. Where will Sumi come out irrespective to Tubockerin? Look out on the right-hand side for the yellow car. There it is. They're going to go wheel to wheel and towards turn 1. This is going to be close on the exit. You can see the momentum that Sumi's got from the final corner. It's Hamilton Verstappen style this time. Sumi isn't able to hold it around the outside, and Tubockerin covered the undercut. And now Hilstadinho will be looking for the move on Sumi. Actually got a bad run through turn 1. Tutti Boy being overtaken by only one Luca Rosman, who's pitted for a fresh set of intermediates. Where did I get intermediates from? Medium tyres. Liam behind. Tutti Boy has actually disconnected and is a ghosted AI now, unfortunately. Hopefully he can join back ASAP. Got battle here. Sumi and Tutti Boy battling away for 7th. I'll try. And actually no, that will just mess up the stream for too long. I don't know if Gavra, I don't know if you can invite Tutti Boy back, if he can join back. Hopefully he can join back, because he was providing some great racing early on. But that gap out in front is almost extended to about a second. 8/10. Tutti Boy has thankfully been able to join back and is in 3rd place, but hasn't made a pit stop yet. Let's get the gap to the leader up on the screen to see whereabouts he'll come out. 19 seconds of the pit stop. He might actually come out still in this battle for 7th place if he comes into the pits at the end of this lap. So in all fairness, he hasn't actually lost that much time. By Jasper picks up a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, coming off of the soft compound tyres, and that's confirmation that By Jasper has gotten back into his car, because we no longer have the interval gaps. That is the game just resetting everyone. Someone's off, and it is Tutti Boy. What an unfortunate way to restart back into the race. I don't know if that was the AI throwing him off the track, but he's now lost the position to Lucas and would have lost time to the cars around him. Hugely unfortunate for him there. Nico Zora on 13 lap old hards is still within the DRS train of Pinty. That's going to help his strategy out a lot, as he can be towed on the slower tyres and come out ahead of those guys who are on the same strategy as him. Yellow flags, and that's for someone off at turn 1. It's By Jasper, who's missed the chicane and has opted to retire his AI, ploughing through the polystyrene boards. Hopefully his car will just park off to the side of the track, and that shouldn't warrant a safety car. Indeed it doesn't. But yellow's in sector 1 for the retirement. Battle here for 8th place. Hilstadinho right on the back of Sumi. You'd imagine he'd be alongside going into turn 1. with the aid of overtake and DRS. Here you go, he's on the right hand side of the track, left hand side of your screen, but he's now in front of Sumi on the racetrack, going in towards turn 1. And now has a 3-second gap to Bokkerin to try and close down. Pinty starting this race on pole position. It's kind of been like World War One for him. He's been in the mix of the action, I think it's fair to say, down at turn 1, lap 1, and further on in the race, turn 1 as well. A few laps later, dropping on the rear, yellow flags. I think that's Sumi who's dropped it at this chicane. Our pitter has joined back. I didn't even realise he'd left. I say that, he's not in the race. Jasper has unfortunately disconnected, but has actually retired from the race. Sumi trying to get back past Dutchy after the mistake at the second chicane down at turn 5. Thank you to everyone who's still watching. This race has been absolutely insane. The Academy drivers just doing it once again. I don't know how they do it, but they seem to provide action every single week. Nico Zora is into the pits from his medium tyres. He's done 15 laps on those mediums and he'll be into the pits to do the final 12 on a set of the red striped soft. Sumi, is he close enough to go for a lunge in towards turn 1? I wouldn't have guessed so. It's going to be one send for him. Gets on the curb on the inside, that causes the back end to step out, and I think that could have been how Pinty lost it on the opening few laps. Safety car. This would definitely be interesting, as I think Bokkerin might have just dropped it through turn 4, yellow flags. Who's that for? That's not for Lim, it's for the other blue car. It's Cyrax down at turn 2, and he's off again. He's in the wall as he lost the wheel. No, he's just lost his front wing, his entire front wing, and as soon as Piero mentions the safety car, we might get at least the virtual to clear up the debris. Doesn't look like though. Bit still goes through up into 13th place. The yellow flags are now cleared, and we're back under green flag racing. Here goes Bokkerin looking for a move on Hilstadinho in the run down towards Parabolica, and I believe he's got ahead. Game. We can't see. Here we go, towards turn 1. Someone's dropped it at Ascari, and it's Duncan. Duncan's off. He's got everyone. That's a safety car. Piero has jinxed and cursed the lobby. Piero wanted the safety car. He said it would spice things up, and your wish is my command. And the safety car has been deployed. I believe it's the Mercedes AMG for Monza. We'll have to wait and see, as Nico Zora will be the first one to catch up to the back of the safety car. But Duncan dropping it at the Ascari chicane. We couldn't quite see what happened at Parabolica. There you go. You can see the red Mercedes. But we were spectating Bokkerin fighting with Hilstadinho, but the camera just wouldn't go to the final corner, and that's why, because it's almost like the game knew someone was going to crash on the entry to Ascari. Drivers into the pits. I'm assuming this is all going to be for a fresh set of the red striped, grippy, soft compound tyres. Indeed it is. This gives the leaders a free pit stop as well, but who's going to take the fresh tyres over track position? Track position is not too important around here. It's really easy to overtake, especially with the aid of the DRS. Only one Luca Rosman's into the pits. That's going to trigger a whole bunch of drivers into the pits. Liam comes into the pits. Lucas comes into the pits as well. Can he slow it down? No, he can't. That was a late call for him to come into the pits and gets a 5-second time penalty. Pinty into the pits. Tootie Boy into the pits. I'd imagine Bokkerin into the pits. Look at this for Tootie Boy. He hasn't made a pit stop yet, and he's been able to use the safety car to go into a fresh set of the soft compound tyres, and is now in 5th place, I believe. Indeed he is. Lucas going for the mediums, might not have had a fresh soft available. Bokkerin opting to stay out and gain the track position. Dutchy staying out on the hard tyres. Is this going to be a mistake? Are the drivers going to be regretting this? We'll have to wait and see. But it's the new lull. Piero is the new Toussaint, and a safety car has been deployed. You can see the beautiful Mercedes AMG in front of your screens now. And we are under the safety car after Duncan dropped it at the chicane. Let's just get rid of everything for the meantime, just so there we go. But the tyres are on screen for you, ladies and gentlemen, to see. The majority of the grid on a set of the soft compound tyres. Let's have a look at the biggest gainers and losers across the course of the first 18 laps. Darchi making up the most positions off the start. 10 positions gained. Witzel and only one Nico Rosberg up 5. Tutti Boy Nico Zora up 6. By Jasper. Well, we've had to say goodbye to him as he's lost 12 positions in this race. Hilstadinho and Pinty losing 5. Only one Nico Rosberg getting fairly close to the back of the safety car. But Bert Meinlander in the back of that Mercedes, controlling the pace for the next few laps. This does give me a chance to have a look at the chat and see what people have been saying across the course of the race. I have been keeping a brief eye on it, but not really been reading it all too much. Welcome everyone. Welcome to anyone who's a regular viewer. Thank you for staying tuned throughout the course of the season. And welcome to any new viewers who are tuning in for the first time. You join us on lap 19 of the Academy League here at Monza, round number 7. We're under a safety car after Duncan lost his front wing and dropped it down at this Muscari chicane. Anyone interested in racing in any of our F1 leagues? We do have a few spaces available. I believe if you just contact Gavra, and hopefully we might get you through the evaluation races, the prelims as well. Next season we'll be starting probably January, February, but we're still in November. We don't need to worry about that. And weekend league on the weekend as well if you're interested in getting involved in that. We've got GT Sport as well on Friday and Saturday with the final few races of the season. Gavra asking who's caused the safety car. Well, on the track, it was Duncan who lost it at Ascari. In the chat, it was most certainly Pierre. We've got the screenshot evidence. We have evidence, all the evidence we need to convict him. Maybe even a crash gate. Who knows what side Pierre is on here. But the safety car is in this lap. Tubokarin and Lucas picking up 5-second time penalties for collisions. That might be removed by the stewards, but we'll have to wait and see. Only one Luca Rosman controls the pace up to the line. When does he go? We'll have to wait. He's gone. Hasn't gone. He's gone now. And has he caught the rest of the field napping? He's definitely caught the rest of the field in a bunch of chaos behind. Here goes Dutchin trying to go for a move on Lucas in towards turn 1. Here goes Tubokarin on the inside of Liam. Down the inside in towards turn 1. Late on the brakes, gets the job done, but Liam's going to try and fight this one back as best he can. On the more grippier soft compound tyres, someone's gone off at turn 1. It's stopped. It's chaos down at turn 1. Who knows what's going on? I think an onboard is pretty best. There's about 8 cars trying to go through turn 1 in towards Parabolica now. It's a Dutch at the head of this train. Somehow they've dropped only one Luca Rosberg. It's 3 seconds. It's about 3 wide going in towards turn 4. Tubokarin get ahead. Dutching go well to Tutti Boy who's cut the corner right the curbs. Take air. They're 3 wide now on the inside of turn 5. Pinty getting pinched to the inside of Tutti Boy and Dutchy on the outside on the left hand side of the track. Meanwhile Lucas trying to fight his way past Tubokarin. Liam going wheel to wheel with Dutchy as well, going through the second Lesmo, gets out ahead of that personal battle. Someone's off on the second Lesmo. That is Witzel now down in towards 13th place. Hugely unfortunate for him. Here goes Lucas trying to go for a move on the inside and towards the sky. It wasn't close enough to get the move done. Let's change it to the interval just so it's a little bit more easier to see. They've absolutely dropped only one Luca Rosman. Carnage down at turn 2. And here goes Pinty on the back of Tubokarin in towards the final corner. Can he make this one stick around the outside? Yes, he can. He's now up into 4th place. Here goes Lucas now, currently running in 3rd place with some time penalties which might be removed from the stewards. He's in the slipstream. No DRS just yet. Is he going to send one though in towards turn 1? Bockelin defends the middle of the track, and just enough for to keep Lucas behind. But you can see the train of cars that follow after the safety car restart. Only one Luca Rosman has judged this to absolute perfection. Has been aided though by the squabbling behind. And well, there was about 8 cars trying to go through Curva Grande all at the same time. Sumi getting the jump on Dutchy up into 8th place. And someone's off. That's Liam Round at the second chicane. And thankfully for the ghosting system, that would have been a very unsafe re-entry to the track. And it now drops down to 3rd place. He was looking like one to win the race. And he's now dropped it on lap 21 on 27. The pressure might be building. More yellow flags in the middle sector. I think that is for Liam, who can't quite get the car in the right direction. It is for Liam. You can see he's dropping time. Let's get the track map up as well. And Liam's actually, we've got a safety car. Liam's retired on the track and he's caused a safety car. And well, the drivers are going to have to give the positions back, because I think there was overtakes and there's more contact between the drivers. I'm not sure what's really going on up here. There's more time penalties. Let's have a look at the time penalties. 10 and 28 seconds for Lucas. I think Gav, there's going to be a lot of claims after this race. Witzel's got a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. Only when Luca Rosman is into the pit from another set of soft compound tyres. And well, I don't know how many of those let's have a look to see how many of those time penalties are actually, if we just go to incidents, scroll down right to the bottom, you can see here, Lucas has got 1, 2, 3, 4, so that's 20 seconds of time penalties for the collisions under the safety car. So effectively, so if he's had 20 under the safety car, he must have 1 for yes, so he had 1 for speeding in the pit lane and 4 for collisions under the safety car. So effectively, he has an 8-second time penalty. Well, that might be removed by the stewards. We'll have to wait and see. Tibokran also with a 15-second time penalty. He's got the penalties for collision. So any stewards watching, this might be a race to watch back, and the final results will probably most likely be determined by post-race penalties, because it's all going to get a bit confusing. If anyone needs the race director at the end of the race, I will happily screenshot that for you as well. Unfortunate, heartbreak, Liam. So unfortunate. So unlucky under the safety car restart. You were looking like someone who was potentially in the hot seat for the race victory. But I guess it's also more determination, more will, more power of redemption to come back next week and be stronger, win the race. I believe in you, Liam. I definitely believe you will get a race when you've got the pace to win a race by the end of this season. Sometimes it takes us to take 2 steps back before we can take 1 leap forward. And well, that's something that you often hear a lot in racing. You can't always, well, you know, whenever it looks like it's all going well, there's always going to be one thing, one obstacle that gets in your way, whether it's a safety car, lack of focus, time penalty, something that's not your fault, something that you couldn't control. There's always going to be that one factor in life that just parks the bus in your face, and there's nothing you can do apart from work your way around it. And that is what gives you the strength, the determination to come back and be better, come back stronger. I should be a motivational speaker. I should be like one of those YouTube channels that do motivational speeches for school kids in assemblies or something. You know, that's going to be me. I'm going to practice it during commentary for the drivers who crash. If anyone thinks that's a good career opportunity, let me know in the comment section down below. But lap 26 and 27, we're going to have a 3-lap showdown, because the safety car is going to stay out. Nico Zora has got a 5-second time penalty for a collision with Duncan. Yeah, don't worry, guys. The safety car's actually in this lap. That is very late from the safety car. Too busy looking at the chat. Chewbacca has to now. Well, he's actually gone. No, he hasn't gone immediately. He's going to slow the pack down. Because when's he going to go? He's gone now. And starts the final few laps. Lap 24 of 27 here at Monza. Lucas has been caught absolutely napping with 33 seconds time. He's got an injury. He must have an issue. I think he's dropping out of this race because I don't think he can get there. I don't think he thinks he can get the time penalty removed. Going in towards turn 1. Now there's a little bit of contact between Sumi and only one Luca Rosman, who gets up in towards 5th place. Too much action's going on here on the exit of turn 2. Cyrax and Dutchy now going well toward Dutchy, getting ahead. And ahead of Whiskey, who's now playing in the final paying position. I think Lucas, with his penalties, is just backing out of the fight. I don't think he's on. Tubockeran's on at turn 5, and he's lost the lead of the race. Pinty's now finds himself leading this race. Apologies. Tooty Boy's now slipped his way through up into the first position. How has he done this? I have absolutely no idea. Let's remove everything from the screen just so we can have a clear view from the final few laps. Here goes Hilstadinho, and only one Luca Rosman fighting away now for the final podium position in the run down towards Ascari. Hilstadinho gets up into 3rd place, and can hunt the charge to Pinty in front. Has got only one Luca Rosman closing in behind, who has led a lot of laps in this race. But it's your pole sitter Pinty who finds himself now back up into 2nd place after an absolutely chaotic race. You just cannot call who is going to win this one. Lucas and Dutchy now going wheel to wheel through the final corner. Dutchy on the outside. Can he make this one work with the grip on the hard compound tyres? Gets up into 9th place. Going back up to the leaders though. Tutiboy tries to defend the inside line, but there's still enough track on the inside for Pinty to find his way through. A little bit of wheel banging from the front too. They're still going to go wheel to wheel through the chicane of the first couple of corners. Both getting a little bit loose on the rear. And the run down towards turn 3. Here goes only one Luca Rosman going for a move, and Tooty Boy squeezing Pinty off to the outside. Doesn't want Pinty having the inside line. Which way is he going to go? Is he going to go for anything that he just tucks in behind? 4 now. Here goes Duncan trying to go for a move on Sarix, but backs out of that one. Do they all negotiate the chicane? Clearly, I believe they do. Here goes Suman trying to go for it down the inside into the first Lesmo of Hilstadinho. Couldn't quite pull the move off. He's going to go for it though. No, stays behind. Now, and I think that's a wise decision, but might not be over yet because the race leaders are going wheel to wheel. You can see Pinty and Tooty Boy going wheel to wheel in the run down towards Ascari on lap 25, and Pinty now finds himself leading this race. Sumi decides to back out of a move on Hilstadinho going into Ascari. That might leave him vulnerable to Tubockeran, who's run wide at the exit of Ascari. Here goes Tubockeran, now he's got the run, he's now got the inside line, he's alongside Sumi, he's going for a move up into 5th place, and he gets no job done. Here goes only one Luca Rosman now going down the inside and towards the final corner, up to the line to start the penultimate lap of the race. The DRS has now been enabled with only 2 laps to go. Only one Luca Rosman with the extra straight line speed advantage. He's got the slipstream of Pinty in front, and gets the move done up into 2nd place. Late on the brakes, gets a little tap from behind. Here goes Tubockeran now down the inside. Round the outside of turn 2, is forced wide onto the gravel, hasn't got a good exit, and is now vulnerable to Cyrax, who now goes up into 6th place, and he gets the job done. But Tubockeran's now going to try and fight this one back to the inside through Curva Grande. They're side by side in the run down towards turn 4. Tubockeran later on the brakes, too late on the brakes, takes air over the curb, and that allows Cyrax to try and fight back, but couldn't quite get the run on the exit of turn 5. What drama does this race have on offer with only 1.5 laps left to go in the run down towards Ascari? For the penultimate time this race, it is Pinty who leads from only one Luca Rosman, Tooty Boy in 3rd, Hilstadinho in 4th, Sumi in 5th, Tubockeran in 6th, Cyrax in 7th, Duncan in 8th, Lucas in 9th, and Dutchy rounding out the top 10. Cyrax and Tubockeran now going wheel to wheel. Doesn't look like Tubockeran had a good run through Ascari. He's going to send one down the inside. Has to go on the grass to avoid the back of Cyrax there on the final corner. for the penultimate time. Only one Luca Rosman sets the fastest lap of the race, and he's on a hunt to close down that green car in front. The championship leader, does he send one into turn one? He's late on the brakes. He's so late on the brakes. He locks up. He goes over the curbs. He doesn't get a penalty. He might have to give that position back for going off the track and gaining a lasting advantage. I'm sure the stewards will have a look at that. Hilsedinho, though, he's off at turn two. He's now dropped down to 7th place as Duncan, Sarks and Tubokran goes through. Only one Luca Rosman overtakes Pinty off the track. That might be looked at after the race by the stewards if Pinty doesn't get the position back. Lucas goes off at turn 1, I believe it was. Hills to Bokran going off at turn 5. He's taken the inside curve and he's round. He's lost his front wing on the final lap. And he's now going to drop down to 9th, maybe even 10th or 11th place. He might not be scoring points in this race. Huge and unfortunate for Bokran, who's really been in the action here tonight. Only one Luca Rosman's now got the lead from Pinty after that send at turn 1. But we'll have to wait and see what the stewards say. Going through Ascari for the final time here at the Academy. Lap 27 out of 27. It's been 27 chaotic laps. The stewards are definitely going to have a look at this when it might come down to post-race penalties. Who knows how high Lucas could finish with his penalties being removed, although he did drop out. But go around the final corner for the final time, and it's only one Luca Rosman who wins here in Monza. Pinty claiming 2nd place on the circuit. Tutti Boy rounding out the podium in 3rd place, but it's going to be Sumi on penalties who claims 3rd place. Hilstadinho finishes in 5th place with Sarax in 6th. Duncan finishes in 8th on the track with the penalties, and that promotes Dutchy up into 7th. Lucas, with all of his penalties, might have won this race, but will claim 9th place on the circuit, but he will drop down to last place due to those collision penalties, promoting Bitzel up into 10th place. Tubokran retiring just before the line, leaving only Nico Zora in 13th place to finish the race. And, well, I need to check my heart rate even. Let's have a look. Well, it is definitely higher than average. But, what a race. What an absolute blinder of a race. The Academy just wants to kill my throat. And, doesn't want me to speak anymore. Tutti Boy picks up the in-game driver of the day. And, well, it's, only one Luca Rosman who picks up his first race win of the season. But, and this is a big but, will he keep the position? The stewards will definitely have a look at it. Overtaking off the racetrack and gaining a lasting advantage down at the chicane of turns 1 and 2. Keep an eye out on the website to see the final results. Driver of the day poll in the chatty is currently leading with 4 votes. 50% of the polls so far, and congratulations to all the drivers. Here is your finishing grid. Once again, only one Luca Rosman wins on the track from 6th place on the grid, followed by Pinty in 2nd and Sumi rounding out the podium positions. Tutti Boy in 4th, followed by Hilstadinho in 5th, Sarex in 6th, beating out Dutchy in 7th, Duncan in 8th, after following Whiskey in 9th, and Witzel in 10th place. Lucas was looking to win or get a podium on his debut, but time penalties under the safety car caused him to drop back through the field and manually decided to go back to the back of the grid, not to get in anyone's way with his time penalties. Nico Zora finishes in 11th, Tubokran in 12th, and your retirees from this race, Liam, By Jasper and Mr. Morning, 14th, 15th and 16th. What a race. The Academy always brings action. And Monza, well, just another one to add to the list of great races. I believe next week's race is at Russia, although it could be Imola, which might be replacing Abu Dhabi. Gavra will let everyone know in the F1 chats if that transfer has gone ahead per se. It is Imola next week, and then it'll be Russia the week after. I believe Imola is replacing Abu Dhabi after being added to the game last month. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this race as much as I have. Thank you Unique J, thank you Jamie Surreal, thank you Gav, thanks Pierre, thanks Mason as well, thanks Liam. It's always a pleasure doing commentary here for the Academy. Robert Godfather as well, thanks for those who have been here the whole race, the whole season as well. Any new drivers, anyone new viewers as well, you're in for a treat. Stay tuned next week for, well, we stay in Italy for Imola. The first time Gavra Racing is going off to Imola in F1. We went to Imola in Assetto Corsa, and let's not talk about that on my end. Let's brush over that race. But goodbye, guys. We'll see you all next week. Make sure to join our Discord. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, all other social medias. Do what you're going to do, but more importantly, subscribe to the YouTube and subscribe on Twitch if you have Twitch Prime. But until next week, guys, I'll see you next time for Imola. Goodbye.